Hi everyone, and welcome to Good for the Game TV. You're watching our Tour de France Stage 1 preview. Yes, the greatest show on earth gets going on Saturday in Brussels. We can't wait for the action to begin. If you're new to our videos, make sure you go down below this, hit the subscribe button, and whack the bell so you get to see all of our betting previews that come up. I'll also put some useful links in the comment section, including how to subscribe to our newsletter. We communicate quite a bit with you over the next 3 weeks. Let's get straight into the action, though, and have a look at tomorrow's stage. It's 194.5 kilometers. It starts and ends in Brussels. And yes, on the face of it, you can see this is going to be a sprint finish. There are a couple of short climbs early on. The interest in these, I suppose, will be to see who wears the King of the Mountains jersey. I expect a fairly weak break to be allowed away. I don't think any of the strongest sprinters teams are going to like anyone really strong to get clear. And they're going to be kept on some sort of a short rein until they get reeled back in with just a few kilometers to go. Now, this will be a sprint finish, but perhaps not as straightforward as the profile makes it look. Let's have a look at the last kilometer here. There are some narrow roads as well leading into the finish, but we see the last K, there's a little bit of an incline. Now, I believe the average over the kilometer is 2.5%, and if you look here, the last 500 meters climbs fairly significantly. Now, that's not enough to take the pure sprinters out of the equation, but it is steep enough to bring some of the guys who would normally struggle to match the pure sprinters on the straights, guys like Peter Sagan and possibly even Sonny Cabrelli. It's enough to bring them into the picture. So let's have a look at the outright betting. I'm popping onto sunbet.co.za. They got a nice way of putting out their betting on the Tour de France. I must say their cycling betting is excellent as well. They generally are first out in most of these cycling events. Dylan Groenewegen, he's with the Jumbo Visma team. He's 15-10 favorite. You take one off here with Sunbet. I'm not logged in at the moment, so we've not seen the fractional prices. He's a 15-10 favorite. I can't argue with the fact that he's a favorite. He's probably the fastest guy in world cycling at the moment, and he's strong enough that this 500-meter climb at the end probably won't put him off his rhythm too much. Ilya Viviani, for the Decunic Quick Step team, hasn't quite been at his best for a while, in my opinion, although he was riding into some form coming into the Tour. He's a shade under 33-10. Caleb Ewan with the Lotto Soudal team. He used to be with Mitchelton Scott. Perhaps not as fast as he used to be, but he does like a little bit of a kick at the end. And he's going to have his supporters, including one of our forum punters, the Van. And on that note, I will tell you, go and click on the link down below to go through the Good for the Game forum. Our punters put up bets every single day of the Tour de France. It certainly is our favorite 3 weeks of the year. Peter Sagan, well, he's 5-1, massive favorite for the green jersey, plenty of pedigree. And like I said, this 500-meter climb at the end will bring him right into the equation. For me, though, Sagan just hasn't been the same rider that he was in past seasons. And while I do expect him to win the green jersey, I'm not prepared to back him at 5-1 in this stage. Sonny Cabrelli, now here's an interesting guy because he tends to go missing sometimes in these finishes. He doesn't seem to get himself into a good position. He does have a couple of teammates that should be able to get him handy, and that although he would prefer something steeper, he could well benefit from the fact that there's this increase over the last 500 meters. And he was riding pretty well in the lead up to the Tour. So I think Sonny Cabrelli here is a big run. And in fact, I'm going to have a little bet on him at 20-1 to win the stage, with a little bit more on him to top 3 at 4-1. That's my first interest in Tour de France, other than my outright bets. And by the way, my outright preview is on the Good for the Game website at the moment. We'll stick the link in the comments below. Michael Matthews, well, he wasn't expecting to be captain of the team, but Tom Dumoulin has pulled out. He's 20-1. I'm not sure that he's fully fit. Alexander Kristoff with the UAE team, not the rider he was a few years ago. He is strong and durable, though, probably coming into his own later in the Tour. And then we got two interesting riders in Alaphilippe and Van Aert, who would probably have chances on this finish in their own right, but will be working for Viviani and Groenewegen respectively. Right, so Sonny Cabrelli, my interest tomorrow, but there's also some match bets, and I'm going to go onto the WSB site. They set out their match bets really nicely, and also they do allow you to take multiples because they don't mention any of the riders twice in these match bets. Two that stand out for me today, I like Geraint Thomas to beat his teammate Egan Bernal. Now, neither of them would, in theory, be sprinting for the stage, but I've got a feeling that Thomas wants to be the leading Sky rider in case he can take the yellow jersey in the team time trial on Sunday. And the relevance of that is I think he is worried about Bernal, and if he can be in yellow, it will perhaps be a little bit easier to keep Bernal in check over the coming weeks. Not that I expect Thomas or anybody else to hold the yellow jersey all the way through to Paris. Right, the next selection, I've gone with Cabrelli. I've nailed my colours to the mast with him. of taking him to beat Matthews, who I'm not sure is going to be fully fit for this one. Right, that then is the betting that's at WSB and at Sunbet, so wsb.co.za and sunbet.co.za. We'll quickly take a look just at a summary of my bets, put a quick spreadsheet together for that, and we can have a look at that now just before we log off. And we've got 0.5 units, Cabrelli win at 20 to 1, 1.5 units, Cabrelli, top 3 at 4 to 1. And then we got the match bet double, Cabrelli over Matthews onto Thomas over Burnell, and that's at 24 to 10 at WSB. Thanks everyone for joining me for this first Tour de France preview. I'm so excited for this event. We will be doing a video preview for each and every stage, and also carrying, as I say, tips in the forum, and we'll be posting the preview on the Good for the Game site as well. Plenty of other sport going on this weekend. I'm going to put links up to the Super Rugby final as well as the Durban July preview, both of which are an absolute must-watch. Enjoy the tour, and remember, subscribe to my newsletter, and we can stay in touch over the next 3 weeks.